Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 7 of Red Dirt and Stardust, a Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition science fantasy cowboy western campaign. I am currently getting over something, so I may not be as animated tonight, but hopefully we'll still have our little fun. So, where we last left the party off, the party had decided to take the initiative to go to Devil's Thumb to investigate what the gnolls were doing there. When they made it there, they found the gnolls were herding them into a cave, which was very strange. And when they made it in, they managed to find a feasting room where a creature had feasted on most of the bodies of the miners. There was still one that was missing. The creature then started to toy with them, and they very quickly figured out that it was a gnoll that had been turned into a vampire somehow. As they fought it, they heard a voice somewhere off in the tunnels yelling for help that lasted until they defeated the gnoll vampire, cut off its head, and began to leave. When they did, Velantrios, with his superhuman hearing, heard something feasting and gnawing on the body. They turned to find a humanoid creature tearing into the body, but it quickly ran off into the darkness before they could do anything about it. And that is where we left you all off. So you all are currently poised to exit the cave through the dragon's skull that sat over top of it, out into the sunlight. I think we established that it was probably around 11 o'clock that you all made it to around like 11 or 12 o'clock that you all made it to the actual Devil's Thumb.
Sure.
And it's probably going to be around that time that you all are leaving from this place. So what would you like to do?
Well, I reckon we ought to hightail it back to town before we find out what was gnawing on that corpse back there.
Yeah, I think after everything we've been through, we could use a little break from, all thatness.
Well, then get your head ready and get your feet readier.
Are you
Hold
still
up
in your
the
the axe guy persona? Is that who we're talking to right now? Cool.
We're doing?
I
Yeah.
also still look like Virgil right now.
Great.
Disguise constantly up.
Love it.
I, I hold up the head and I look at it and I'm like, "What do you think? Should we go?" And I just shake it.
Seems we're all in agreement then. Whatever that is, not our problem. Um,
I mean,
Amen, preacher.
are we? It feels rashly irresponsible not to deal with. I don't think our friend here, Chauncey motions to the decapitated head, I don't think that had the intelligence to send an explosive zombie at us when we started sniffing around.
Oh, but some snarling, drooling thing feasting on a dead body does.
No, I think perhaps he's implying that whatever sent that creature also sent the second.
I swear, if we end up in some mad scientist cave lair, I'm going to be haunting all of you for the rest of eternity.
Well, all I care to share is that I certainly wasn't paid for this. We found out where all the missing iron was going. The job that we are assigned to is done.
were we tasked with stopping it or just finding out what was happening?
I do believe it was an investigation we signed on.
I have to agree. I think investigating is one thing. Handling the problem is going to be a bit heavier of a charge.
In any case, whatever we decide to do, I certainly can't do it without some rest.
Of course, you still have the not really a tavern, but the basically the stage of the town hall that still has the cots set up for you all to sleep in.
All right.
That you
How
can
about we
certainly use
meet
as
somewhere
rest.
in the middle? Sorry. How about we meet somewhere in the middle? Let's go back, report what we found, get some rest, and then if we feel it's necessary, we'll come back here and investigate further.
Sounds like a plan to me.
All right. Is that good with you, Chauncey?
Chauncey kind of just wasn't it God, what's your persona's name right now, you?
Marcus.
Didn't Marcus is the one that got really fucked up in the last fight, right?
I believe I did get super. He's real squishy right now. We're
Yeah,
working.
Chauncey's just gonna like do an up and down of him and be like, fine. You're more use alive than dead. Come on.
Well, I suppose I should take that as a compliment.
And we all just linked hands together and start skipping off like Dorothy in the group.
Yeah.
How gaily we run.
No, but let's get out of here.
So you make your way back to Twin Gulch, back across the rickety wooden bridges that sway in the very little wind. And you make your way back into town, where indeed, standing out front of the town hall is the very familiar Pickaxe Peggy, the mayor of the town of Twin Gulch, and Cheyenne Pearson, the elf who runs the mine. But also, there is another figure who is standing with them. She's a human. She has her hair pulled back into a bun. She has what appears to be a notebook and a quill. And she has a sort of very plain, almost forest green dress on, but her top is it has almost mutton sleeves, and it is gold. And she seems to be almost ants in her pants dancing in place, waiting for you to come up with her quill kind of flicking back and forth. As you all approach, Pickaxe Peggy, of course, begins to step forward, and she goes, well, welcome back, before this woman just cannot contain herself anymore. She just explodes excitedly as she basically accosts you with her quill. So did you figure out what was going on? Oh, I'm so sorry. My name is Goldie Jones. I am the reporter here of our Twin Gulch Bugle. And I am here to get to the bottom of the issue. Goldie, we have time for interviews later. I understand that your husband is one of those miners that disappeared, but all will be taken care of. I'm sure they've done their investigation. You can go back and get your printing press in order so you can start printing later. They will have time for interviews later. She kind of, okay. And you can see as she turns, there is a hint of sadness in her eyes that this was an opportunity that's been taken away from her to get information on not only just what's been happening for a scoop for her newspaper, but also apparently closure on what's happened to her husband.
Gee, I wonder
as that
which
information
one.
was just brought forth. But Pickaxe Peggy comes and I'm so sorry about that. Hopefully we'll have time later to indulge her little interviews. She ain't getting a lot around here. So I'm hoping that she's one of the people that gets to move on when this place finally shuts up shop for good. But if you could at least indulge her for now, that would be nice.
Of course.
But if you could give your report on what exactly has been going down at the mines. You all left for quite a while and were investigating for quite a while. So if you could fill me in, that'd be lovely.
Was
Where to
live.
start?
Exactly. Well, we certainly didn't find any missing miners, I am afraid.
Did you find other evidence, corpses, or?
Well, we found what was left of most of them, I would say.
Perhaps.
Most of them.
There
All
was
of
a-
them are, all of them are dead but one, as far as we know. right?
Do you know
Right.
which one?
Most likely.
No, not necessarily. It was kind of hard to identify them.
Although I do believe they are responsible for stealing some dynamite.
Okay.
The night before most of the miners disappeared, there was a gentleman we spoke to about it. He said he witnessed such.
All right. Um, well,
Well,
that at least.
a cave-in that led us out to Devil's Thumb, and well, Velantrios, do you still have that
I hold up the head.
The decapitated head of
Oh,
there was
nasty
that.
little bugger.
So that's part of the problem.
Or was.
There's
It
still
was.
an infestation of gnolls out there.
And well, I'm not really quite sure what. Something.
Shifty, shadowy thing was out there too. We couldn't quite lay eyes on.
But we did
Oh.
know it was feeding on this thing's body.
Right.
well, that certainly explains some of the goings on that's happening around here. Um, I'm not sure it entirely explains everything, but at least we have somewhat of a start, and maybe we can at least attempt something to rectify the situation. Um, but if it's gnolls that were stealing the iron, then I'm not quite sure why they would have that much need for iron. They seem to be pretty all right with fashioning weapons out of bones and leather from the creatures they slay.
So,
Precisely.
so, so let's add things up. We have gnolls stealing iron, which they don't normally do. Then we have this thing, holding up the head again, uh, a gnoll who has gone through the process of vampirism. He
Vampirism.
he holds up
You see
the gnoll's gums, exposing the vampire fangs.
Not
And
particularly hard to become a vampire, honestly.
Apparently not.
and then we also have this humanoid creature that was feasting on this thing's body.
It's
Which means
a rather long morning.
It
Well, that
sounds like, if I didn't know any better, I'd say it sounds like there is some experimentation going on.
Well, I'd
I
say it's
would
like you don't know any better then, because I think that's exactly what it sounds like is going on.
I would not be surprised, although what the end goal of this experiment is, I'm not exactly a sciencey type. I just make sure that people in the town don't kill each other. Um, but it's a bit strange. And if that thing was a vampire and then there was something that was feasting on its body, then must mean that either there's another vampire or something's going to turn into another vampire.
most
Mm.
likely.
I can't
It is-
imagine eating a vampire would be a good thing.
I think that's how vampires, or at least certain types of vampires, turn into other types of vampires is by feeding on vampires, willing or unwilling. At least that's what some of the folk tales say.
Well, we have
So,
a way of finding out.
And I suppose that's a problem for after a highball of whiskey.
Velantrios, are you saying that you want to snack down on that to test it out?
Is that what
He
you
was looking towards you. I forget your character's name.
Chauncey.
Chauncey.
Oh.
And he was like, "Oh, actually, I was going to suggest you. I'm sure it would be
Whoa.
an interesting experience seeing what you would turn into, turning into things as you do."
What?
I, I, Chauncey's just gonna like delicately sniff it and shake his head no.
Right. How
Moving
about we
on.
all pop down for a rest for a little bit, and
That's a fine idea.
we can discuss the next steps of afterwards.
Sure. Well, I don't know what I
Right. I
Yeah.
guess that might be a good idea. To let you all get your rest. Of course, make sure you talk to Goldie
Goldie, of course.
for her little interview. Just to make sure that things are on the up and up and she gets her little scoop.
Wouldn't it be better if we held off on that until we're finished? It seems asinine to rile up the townsfolk before we know exactly what's going on.
And we have not identified our dynamite thief yet. Oh, it would be unfortunate if it turned out that it was Miss Goldie's husband.
Well, I think it's going to be unfortunate either way. Her husband's either dead or a dynamite thief vampire.
Perhaps Mr. Og is right in that we should, I don't know, have something a little bit more concrete to share with her. Other than the fact that we still aren't sure what happened to her husband, he's either dead or a thief.
It's not good either way. So maybe we should.
Pardon me, ma'am, I have some unfortunate news. Your husband might be dead, but we are actually not sure.
Or a vampiric dynamite thief.
He could also be a demonic vampire dynamite thief, yeah. We don't know.
Do with that what you will.
Sounds like that'd go just grand.
No, I think for once we're all in agreement there. Keeping hush hush might be better, at least until we find out the last bit of this mystery.
We have a growing to-do list. We must update Miss Goldie Smith, and we must retrieve some cake for the Brigand.
Right. Is there a bakery in town somewhere?
Sadly, no.
Any
we
sort of
don't
baked goods?
Can you get me? Chauncey's just gonna pull out a piece of paper and write down a recipe list of what he doesn't have in his bag of holding. He's gonna be like, "Can you please deliver these to the nearest large oven? I've got things in the middle of this. I have to find myself needing to bake a cake, which is oddly actually soothing right now compared to several alternatives."
So I think we agreed that you had flour and sugar, I want to say, but you did not
I
have
didn't have
eggs or
milk or
milk.
eggs.
Or milk, yeah.
Well, I think we
Yeah.
can cover you for eggs and milk. We do have plenty of flour, but we don't exactly have a lot of sugar. So it's good that you have that. But well, I'll just make sure that that gets into the kitchens of the town hall. It's the biggest oven we got.
Thank you.
It would be funny if you made a bundt cake and what were they called? They just looked at the hole and was like, "Where's the hell is the rest of it?"
That's fabulous. I'm sure they'll be thrilled either way.
All right. So
At any rate, perhaps we should, what was it we said we were going to do? Discuss
Take her.
stratagem?
I thought we were gonna take a rest.
Well,
What?
while we're resting, I might as well fulfill our end of the bargain with those little fairies that saved us. So if anybody wants to talk, I'm going to be in the kitchen.
Um,
I
he
avoid the kitchen.
Velantrios holds up the hen and he's like, "We're gonna go take a nap," and he literally just carries the head to the to his cot.
Let's see
All
here.
right.
Yeah,
So-
above him, I'm out of shit until we take a long rest. Like literally out of everything. I got nothing left. Pretty sure I took a chunk out of what the hell are we calling you? Virgil, I guess. His spell.
You took some of my spell slots.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Pretty sure
I
did.
mean, yeah, I guess I could use a little sit down then. Do we want a short rest or a long rest?
I literally can't help you until I take a long rest.
Well,
I wish this wasn't happening at 11 a.m., but I don't know what else to tell you.
we heading out tomorrow, y'all.
To be
Look,
fair,
in the
if a long
middle of
rest
the
is 8
desert,
hours and it's 11 a.m., we would be ready for nightfall.
Very
Plus, it
true.
is-
Because everyone knows it's
We're in the
always
middle of
better
the
to fight
desert and-
vampires at night.
Yes. We approach them at sundown. No,
And look,
better yet,
I can-
when the moon
as
is
someone who comes from whose family comes from a very bright and sunny place, it's not uncommon for people to take naps at high noon.
fair enough.
Very
Just
true.
8-hour nap.
All right.
Well, we'll say. I mean, let's say Marcus does some kind of fucking excuse. I don't know. The most I'm used to doing is just odd jobs around the house. I'm fixing fences, maybe some plumbing here and there. Lie down.
I mean, I'll take the long rest with everybody, but I also want to, before we leave, make these cakes as
Yes,
well.
definitely making the cakes.
Yep.
100%.
The cakes are important. Yep. So actually, what kind of role would I?
Before we do a long rest, I want to do a detect thoughts and just
Oh,
like I wanna make sure I hit Chauncey because I'm always curious about what he's thinking as I'm just gonna briefly walk by the kitchen, but I think I want to go talk to was it Pickaxe Peggy was her name or
Yep.
something.
Pickaxe Peggy.
Beautiful.
So if I could just like make a quick swing by the kitchen with my detect thoughts up just to glean what Chauncey's thinking. Oh, and you. I want to or Marcus. I just want to fucking I want to get a fucking beat on you for fucking once. I want
All right. What do I have to save here?
nothing at first. I'm just gonna I assume you're probably like in the bedroom area right now,
I thought you
starting
were
on your
doing-
rest.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
we're not gonna probe deep yet because then you'd know. But I'm just gonna pop it and I wanna what's Marcus's surface thoughts just right away.
Honestly, it's exactly what Marcus is giving you. Like he's tired. He's used
All
to
right.
working on the farm, and like this is nuts.
The
He's
dial-up tone.
a little concerned about what he's gotten himself into. Like this is a little extra.
It'd be interesting if his thoughts were like different voices at the same time.
I wanna once I realize I'm not getting anything outside of this, I wanna just because I don't I think we determined that I don't know that it's Lyla and Marcus are the same person, but I feel like
None
I've
of you
got
have
just
figured that
some
out.
sort of like this is weird. Like something about this is weird.
I think Chauncey started putting, I think you all definitely might have started putting pieces together. You haven't come to the conclusion that they're the same person. But I would
Yeah.
say after Marcus whipped out the same card shit that
Yeah.
Lyla whipped out, and he said, and Lyla said that Marcus was her cousin, that it's like there's some card shit running in the family.
Yeah, I want to just like right before you pop your head down to bed. She's like, how again did you say you know Miss Lyla?
She's my cousin. Well, not exactly my cousin,
One of
but
those long story family situations.
yeah, you get the idea. Moms used to play cards and whatnot.
I gotcha. And is in the surface thoughts as you talk about her, nothing but what you're saying is happening.
Yep, exactly.
All right, I'm just kind of like, well, you make sure you get some rest there. I'll be joining you soon. I'm pretty beat myself.
Indeed. Long day ahead, long day behind.
I was like, damn it, didn't get fucking anything from that. And then I also want to swing by Chauncey. Not gonna talk to you though. Too intimidated to talk to you, I think. But what's the surface thoughts in the kitchen?
Really, one of them could have actually offered a little bit of help. This isn't not difficult, but you're making cupcakes for hundreds of fairies. It's not. Oh, and it smells.
You're making
good.
cupcakes.
And oh, I wonder if he still likes dark chocolate. He liked it a lot when we were kids. And
Oh my god. I think I'm gonna, I don't know, do like a wisdom save or something, because I think that does genuinely make Jedidiah feel really bad.
Yeah, make me a wisdom.
If I get, I don't know, under like a 12, then I'm gonna come in and help. I rolled a
No one
14.
wants to
I'm
know
sorry.
that.
I'm still just like, no, no, I can't.
yeah, so Chauncey's like doing that, and then he's just like, I'm getting thirsty again. I should have asked someone for a snip. It's just a little.
Okay, Jedidiah is gonna come in and bring you a cup of water.
Oh. What? Ver, ver.
I dropped the disguise. I'm like, you can just call me Jed.
Wait,
No one ever wants to know what I
thank you.
Yeah, I just noticed you looking a little parched. Hadn't really. You didn't even have anything to drink when we got back. You just came right back here and started cooking.
Chauncey's eyes just flick to his neck for a second before moving away. You're too kind.
Yeah.
And
This is coming
meanwhile,
along
there's
good.
just like 60
smells
fucking
good, smells
cupcakes
good.
on the table.
Smells really good. Yeah. Keep it up. And I just walk out. And put Virgil back on.
And there's just fucking Lovey May has a piping bag for icing in between her hands, and she's not very good at it.
Oh no.
But he's
You
taking.
know who Lovey May kind of reminds me of? Recent character is Nifty.
Nifty has too crazy vibes for Lovey May.
Lovey May is a sweetheart.
Yeah, so is Nifty.
Most of the time.
What kind of roll do I have to make to check my cupcakes?
Oh my word.
There's not really like a baker
Athletics.
role.
If you're cooking,
Well, so here's the thing.
Bible,
Chef's tools are an art because they're an
Are you
artisan
proficient
tool.
with them?
I'm
Yeah.
proficient with them because I can
I'm
make
assuming
them.
that you are proficient with them.
yep.
Because you gave me
Does
that. You
it
also gave
say
me
what you need to, what skill?
So
Or is it
artisan
just-
tools tend to be a tool check based off of your proficiency, and sometimes like thieves' tools go off your dexterity, other tools
Right.
go off of a different stat. What do you?
So would it be like intelligence?
I'll take it as intelligence.
And proficiency?
Okay.
Because baking is chemistry.
Gastrochemistry.
Oh my god.
You bake the
What?
shit out of those cupcakes.
I got a nat 20
Yeah!
Jesus.
Critical
Proficiency.
cupcake!
Beautiful cupcake.
Jedidiah
for a moment.
floats in
Critical
on like a
cupcake,
little
bro.
fragrance wave, like a
I-
cartoon.
It's almost sensual.
I also I guidance to the check on myself and got a 4. So 24 plus proficiency plus intelligence. What's our proficiency bonus right now?
2.
It's
Oh,
3.
it's
Oh,
3.
it's
Okay,
fifth because you all are
So-
fifth levels. Yeah, so it would be plus
Wait.
3.
that's a 32
What?
on my baking check.
Jesus
You take out
Christ.
the cupcakes and they're glowing.
Okay, you baked the shit out of those cupcakes, but hang the fucking phone up. What? When did we get to be 5th level?
We've
We
been
did
A
fifth
little
level
level.
while
like
ago, yeah.
2 sessions.
Why did I not update my character sheet? No wonder I need a long rest to help. What?
Oh no.
All right,
Leveling on the fly.
I'll figure something out. Hang on.
With that check, can we say I had enough left over of ingredients to make some extras beyond what we were going to drop off for them?
Yes, I will say she didn't. I will say that she basically gave you most of the milk and most of the eggs, not really herself knowing how to bake. Probably erred on the side of too much.
Yeah.
So you can probably get with that check. I think I said there were about 30 Briganock in the mine. I'll say that you can probably squeeze out 45 with that check.
You
So
know,
there's about 15 extra cupcakes that you can distribute to whoever.
You know what's funny is we were talking about how if we didn't make the cakes, the Briganocks would hunt us down and follow us. But I think just by giving them those cupcakes, they'll want to stalk Chauncey for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I will pull out. I'll just start putting cupcakes one by one in my bag.
Right, in your bag of holding,
like
because they can
a-
then
Yeah,
they
time.
won't
It
touch
exists
anything.
in a time vacuum in there or whatever, so they won't go bad. So I'll put
Well,
30 cupcakes in
No,
there.
they will go bad. It's just they won't touch each other technically.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm not planning on keeping them in there long term. I'm planning on dropping these off as soon as
True.
possible.
Yeah, I think there's about 15 minutes of air in a bag of holding. So
Oh yeah, it's like they're vacuum sealed.
Right.
yeah, it's just the items exist within almost their own space, so they don't touch each
Yeah.
other. So the cupcakes aren't going to like knock
Well, I
their
mean,
icing into
the
each other.
cupcakes don't breathe. They don't need 15 minutes of air.
Yeah, but there's still
Like-
air in there, so they can like go
Yeah.
stale and go bad
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
leave them in
Right.
there. It's
Like
just
your
they'll go
mom's
bad
Tupperware.
individually.
Just put a vacuum in and suck out the 15 minutes of air, and then we'll be good.
Oh my goodness.
Invent a vacuum for the sole purpose of cupcake preservation.
But these are like definitely not like rough and tumble cupcakes that you'd expect coming out of a backwater kitchen. These are like delicately flower petaled icing designs from the piping bag after he took it off his robot's hand.
Okay,
Uh,
wait. I've got something for you. We're gonna roleplay this level up shit. Ready?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So Marcus is gonna wake up when he smells the cupcakes, right?
Uh-huh.
I know where
He
this is
drifts
going.
himself into the kitchen, and as he's walking, he and he can't stop laughing. It's like he's losing his mind. But through this laughter, he smells Chauncey's cupcakes and he says, "Chauncey, I think you might be able to help me with something."
What's going on? You're disturbing me.
No, excuse me. It's just somehow in a dream I think I may have learned a new spell, but it's gone a bit wrong, you see. It'll wear off in a minute, no worries. But
Did you cast Tasha's hideous laughter on yourself?
absolutely, yes.
Magic laughing gas.
Perhaps you could maybe whip up a few of those little tots you're famous for when we get back to town.
Oh, okay. Do you want a cupcake? I've got spares.
Oh, it's a spell ingredient. The little tiny
Oh,
little
the tiny
tarts.
tarts.
Yeah, tiny tarts is a spell ingredient. But also, yes, I will take one of those.
Yes, it
How
is
delicious.
a
That's
tiny.
wild. I love that. Are
I
you
think
just
you
going
could
to
also
like
use a feather, but
have a constant supply of little tarts to be casting your spells?
Because I really like I'm loving this vibe of Chauncey having a bag of tiny little tarts and me just being like, hey, let me get one.
I mean,
drug dealer.
With me.
are you sure it needs to be a tart? I have this recipe for a trifle I'd like to do.
I'm going back to bed.
Well, take a cupcake.
I'll take 3.
Oh, but you need to leave some to share.
I did. Did I not?
Okay.
Listen, I am enjoying your cooking. Is that not what you wanted?
Fair enough.
Anyway, they smell divine. I appreciate you, Chauncey.
Thank you.
I have a question just because I missed the session before this.
Right.
Pickaxe Peggy is the one paying us to do this, right?
Basically, yes, because she's the mayor of the town.
Oh, she's the mayor. I thought she was like the bartender.
No, she's the mayor. This town is so
Awesome.
small, people
Even
are
better.
covering like multiple jobs.
How much do we have an amount that we agreed on?
I think it was 1,000. I think it was
Okay.
1,000 gold.
Jedidiah is gonna go try to increase that amount.
Okay.
I think I might snag one of Chauncey's cupcakes.
Absolutely.
Would you mind, Chauncey, if I snag one of these? Fucking amazing bang up job. Wow. These ruffles on here? How did you even?
I mean, it's not like it's hard.
Right, I'm sure.
You just have to apply yourself a little, and you'd be surprised of the things you can do.
Naturally. I think would you mind if I delivered one of these to Miss Peggy?
Oh, that would be perfect. I was meaning to do that myself. She's been such a kind host.
Yeah, of course. She deserves a little something, I think. I'm not doing this internally. This isn't for selfish reasons. Definitely not.
Well, if you want, don't forget one of them's for you too.
Oh.
Marcus did just wander off with 3 for himself, but
I'll pick up another one on my way back.
no.
Thank you, Chauncey.
I'm gonna go rest now.
Do that.
All right.
And I'm gonna go find Pickaxe Peggy.
It is not hard in a town that is literally 1 blink long, 2 blinks wide.
Is there a church in this town?
No, there is not. It's basically a bunch of houses, the old post office, and the town hall, with the bridges going off to the side and the mine up the hill a little bit a ways.
Think of it like what was that town in Cars?
Radiator Springs.
Yeah, where it's literally just along the street.
Yeah. And last question before we begin this. If I subtle spell charm person,
I knew
how does the magic there work? Like, because normally charm person, they know after the spell ends that they had magic on them. How does that interact with subtle spell?
They would still know.
Part of the spell's effects.
All right.
You're just gonna have to do it the old-fashioned way.
Well, I mean, if you was intended to charm someone, sorry, I mean above game. If you were intending to charm someone, should have taken the charmer.
Well, I don't know you're a charmer.
I literally have at least half proficiency in everything. Like
I know, but
we don't know you're you.
I don't know that you're Lyla.
There are secrets here.
I think you're the bumbling woodcutting man.
Can Velantrios just like pop out of nowhere in front of Colton's character? Or not in front of him, but like across from him. And I don't want to get meta, but I would love it if my character had like an inkling of what Colton's character was about to do, and he would
make a check.
Can I do this?
You could do insight, I guess, to
Yeah,
determine
just
my
make an
motives.
insight.
Yeah,
you can do an insight.
Insight. Where are you? There.
Skills.
Nope. Ah, there you are.
Do I deception or do I do anything against this?
Uh-oh. What'd you roll?
I rolled a natural 20 plus a 5.
Jesus.
Wow. Okay.
If you would like to deception check, you may, but I'm not going to make you.
Sure, I do have a +8 to this.
Oh, all right.
And I also get advantage on deception checks while I'm disguised as another person,
True.
which didn't help. But it was still a 23.
With a 25, Velantrios, you know why he's probably going to go and speak with Pickaxe Peggy.
Okay, 1 second before my computer dies. Because Elena. Ah, sorry.
You're
I
good.
got wires aplenty.
As it so appears.
Do people know if you cast suggestion on them?
Um,
think so.
No. If
I'm
you're
not
subtle
seeing it
spelling
anywhere.
suggestion, you
I
don't
could
get
subtle spell
notified.
suggestion.
there
Yeah.
might still be a thing of like after the magic wears off.
I don't see that anywhere in the description.
It isn't. Mark used to do it all the time in our first campaign because people
Right.
wouldn't realize that he was fucking with them.
He
Yeah.
did it to Percy
Yeah, and Percy never
Oh
figured it
yeah.
out.
like
Oh
several
yeah,
times.
that's when Percy got fucking dicked down for the first time in the campaign, was
Yeah.
literally under compulsion by suggestion.
Oh no.
Maybe not compulsion, just
It was a
suggestion.
nudge. It was
It was just a gentle nudge to just
things
let
were
him
going in
do
that
what he
direction
wanted.
anyways.
Lark just put his whole weight on the gas pedal in that situation of like, you're going too slow.
Yeah, I guess Velantrios, you see Virgil with a cupcake in his hands, little glint in his eye as he walks towards Pickaxe Peggy, clearly about to go try to schmooze some money out of her.
Velantrios is like, hold right there, Virgil.
Velantrios, whatever could I help you with?
It's not a matter of what you can do for me, but rather what I can do for you. I would like to just like, I'm not sure what like his appearance is right now, like what he's wearing and whatnot. This is
Who? Me?
Colton. Yes.
I'm wearing like clerical robes of the holy god O, and I'm in the curly-haired blonde and human face of Virgil.
Okay, so let's get rid of the robes.
It's kind of like my whole. Look, I know I'm not actually a religious person. This is kind of the whole deal. I act like I am, and people give me things because they think I'm a religious person.
Okay, but no one is, despite what people might think, the whole religious thing is not sexy. So
I think you would find that to be very incorrect if you got to know.
well, even still, he's just. I'm assuming you have like a sash around you holding things in place.
I don't know. Maybe I probably like a belt. I don't know.
Okay, so I'm just going to like grab hold of your belt, tighten things, tuck things in, etc., etc.
Okay.
Are we sexying him up for Miss Peggy?
Yes,
Yeah, see, I wasn't really gonna go for like a sexy angle on this, but
well, everything helps, especially in money.
Sexy priest.
right.
Doing
Well,
sexy priest.
Thank you, Velantrios. I
Have you
hope
not seen? Have you not
I hope I
watched
look
any
sexy
porn?
enough for this. Porn doesn't exist. There's maybe some
Well, I
like
think we've established
slightly
erotica
risque
exists.
books out there.
Well,
Like,
yeah, because you read through Gertie's entire
Gertie's, yeah.
collection of bisexual erotica, trying to
Yeah.
look for hints.
Forgive me, Father, for I have sinned. Punish me.
Literally.
Right.
Literally.
Well, thank you for this delightful interruption.
Velantrios just slaps his ass to get him moving.
Oh my
That-
god.
Oh my.
All right then.
From forest to frisky, the journey.
And I was doing I'm trying to do all this while my detect thoughts is still up.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you're
So
still
I guess what was Velantrios thinking while he was doing that?
So
Yeah,
you
there
want
you
to
go.
detect my thoughts?
I mean, I just
Well,
automatically
yeah, you get the
do while
surface
I have
thoughts.
whatever
Surface thoughts
the
of like just
surface
what's
thoughts
running
are. Yeah.
through, just like the surface level.
How should I say this? There's a certain level of intrigue in you, like who you are as a person. Um, he doesn't. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good surface level thing to it. There's also you might like catch a hint of some like deep dark voice in a what's that language called?
Infernal.
Yes, thank you. An infernal.
I do
Sort
understand
of in the
Infernal.
background.
What does it say? I understand Infernal.
I didn't get this far.
Oh, you said
Is
it.
it more of like a vibe
It
of like
says,
you're hearing it from another room where you can understand that the person is speaking in insert language, but you don't quite catch the words, so you don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
You just
it's
know like,
like
oh, it's the old
very
Italian couple fighting over 3 doors down. I know they're speaking Italian, but I can't catch
so
any
his
of the
surface
words.
level thoughts are like conceptually behind a closed door. All
yeah,
right.
you can't really make out what it's saying. You can
Sure.
catch a few words here and there, like corrupt.
Oh, interesting.
Cute.
Wow.
All right,
Oh
yeah.
dear.
I pat you on the shoulder. Thanks. And I'm gonna move on by towards Pickaxe Peggy.
So you definitely, because Pickaxe Peggy isn't aware that you have detect thoughts up,
Yeah.
she's definitely just like mulling through what's going on in her day of just like, there's definitely an undercurrent of like, things aren't the same. Something bad has happened and things aren't the same. And she's kind of like almost distracting herself by going like, okay, so we need to make sure that the sign for the post office goes back up. I mean, not like anyone goes to the post office here, but at least it'll be up. And we need to repaint some of the town hall. Um, oh goodness, it's a lot to do, but no one to really do it for. Oh, this town is doomed. And then
Miss
at this point, I would
Pickaxe
say that she
Peggy.
kind of, yep, you call out to her and she kind of turns around and, oh, hello, how are
Hi,
you?
I'm doing just fine. I thought I'd swing by, bring you one of these, courtesy of my friend Mr. Chauncey Og.
Oh, that must be what he's whipping up in the kitchen then.
Indeed, we've encountered some little fairy folk in the caves, very helpful little creatures. They kind of
Oh,
saved our tookuses, so they love cake. So we're doing a little favor here, give them some cake.
well, that's certainly very nice of you. Um,
Definitely.
so I'm assuming you're still holding off on meeting with Goldie.
For now, I think it's best. Yeah. Don't want to hit the press before we, have all the facts straight.
Right.
And I couldn't help but notice on my way in here, there's no church in town. How do you all give praise to the mighty O?
Uh, well, it's more of a private affair around here. Most
I
folks have their
see.
own like small little shrines set up inside. They we couldn't really get a church to move in. This was a little tiny,
I
tiny little
see. I
town.
see.
Um There's a lot
We're
of
coming
places
back
that.
from a Devil's Ridge, and I'm on a mission right now, actually, from the city. So, I've been on mission in Devil's Ridge for a little over a year now, but trying to expand my efforts lately and traveling with these good people, trying to spread the good word. Um,
Right, of course. Well, I know it's not really polite to say, but it seems this town is on its way out. It is the way of things. Mines run dry and towns go bust, and
mm,
the people scatter to the winds. And it seems that it might be a little late to set up a church. Um,
I agree.
I'd give this place maybe about like 5 years at most, and then most people have to
Mm,
skedaddle onward. And I know we're preparing. We've been saving up plenty of money to ensure that when people leave, they can take a nice chunk of it and start their lives somewhere else, um, or start a new town or whatever they need to do. But this town is pretty much on
naturally.
its way out, and we're just making the nails for the coffin, so to speak.
Mm.
This
I'd love to do what I could to help with that. The church always is happy to extend our services. Uh, a little tithe would most likely be necessary for me to take some blessings from the church around town, but I'd be more
um,
than happy to.
I'm not sure we can really spare the money right now. I mean, 1,000 gold just to pay you all for an investigation, just with all that's come up, it's just we don't exactly have the money um, right now for that. And with the town about to dissolve anyway, I'm sure they could get their blessings from other towns with more established churches that are longer running with, you know, just as many
Well, that is
connections.
unfortunate. I would hate to see, it seems like so many good folk here, and going without a blessing for so long can, well, upset the one standing with the church.
Well, times are tough out here, and sometimes people just need to deal with being upset.
Can I do any sort of persuasion check or anything to?
How would you like to attempt to persuade Pickaxe Peggy, who seems very dead set on not giving you any extra money? She hasn't caught on that you're asking for extra money, but she is kind of putting her foot down and saying, "Look, this is the town's budget, and we need to stick with it, or we're going to go bust sooner than later. And we'd rather go bust later because it's an inevitability, and we might as well go out knowing how we're going out." It's kind of her stance on the whole thing. It's not very hard to suss out. I'll just give you that. It's very easy. She's laying it out very plain. We've budgeted for the end. Here's where we think it's going to end. We're not trying to rush things.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess I can't. My only really angle was going for give the church your money. um, so I guess I'll concede.
All
Jeez.
right. Well, we'll see what happens.
Right.
Um, Hopefully we figure out all the whole which miners died situation. I think I gave y'all a list of miners that went missing with some short descriptions. Um, Hopefully we can figure out, even if we can't get the bodies, we might be able to set up at least a memorial service for their families, especially because I know Goldie's going to want one for sure.
Of
Um,
course. Well, we
but
can suss that out when we head back up.
all right, well, I'm going to get back to my work here, and hopefully your investigation goes well. I thank you very much for this cupcake. I'm sure it's going to be very delicious, but I'll have to save it till later, sadly.
We'll go
And
take a
she,
long rest.
all right. So I'm going to say since it was just after noon, it's probably going to be 9 o'clock when you all finish up your long rest. And yeah, it's about 9 o'clock. The sun has definitely set. It's pretty dark. You all are probably at this point by candlelight in the on the stage of the town hall where your cots have been set up. The curtains, I will let you figure out if the curtains to the stage are drawn or not. But you are all sitting around until tomorrow when you can leave during the day. Is there anything that you all would like to be doing at this time?
Hmm. Um,
I suppose we should be discussing what exactly we might be finding in there.
Well, some sort of vampiric creature is an easy deduction to make.
Yeah.
Yes, but we've already established that that thing probably wasn't smart enough to, plan all these attacks. What there's got to be more than just the one critter.
Well, I guess we won't know until we find out. Not really any way for us to figure that out from here.
Oh, you're right.
Um,
We just fished. There was we knew a bit more.
so I believe I have proficiency in alchemics. And I have an alchemist's bag. Would I be able to run some tests on the cobalt head to see to discover anything about it, like how it came to be and something like that?
On the Knoll vampire head?
Yes.
So what experiments are you wanting to run on this thing?
Well, kobolds are normally able to turn into vampires, right?
Knolls.
Knolls.
There are a few. Not every single creature can turn into a vampire. Most humanoids can turn into vampires. Of course, gnolls being somewhat humanoids. Kobolds, of course, can turn into vampires. Um, it's rumored that dragons can turn into vampires, but they can also turn into liches, and there's a lot of stuff about that. But most humanoid creatures can turn into vampires. Most vampirism is either a curse from a deity that can either inflict vampirism or is a vampire themselves, or they were created through another vampire. And that's kind of where most of the common knowledge of folklore kind of ends on what can and cannot be a vampire. So while it's probably rare for creatures like gnolls and dragons to turn into vampires, it's not unheard of.
So I would just want to know like how it turned into a vampire. Because there are different methods, right?
Yes. You know what? Give me a nature check. And if
Oh
you're
wow. A nature check for a druid. $19.
so from the flesh you have, um, just kind of pushing the fur around for some of the obvious signs like bites on the neck, just because the neck is where the most blood comes out of. Um, you do find that there are fang marks, but they are very large fang marks, probably about the same size as the knoll. And the knoll is pretty big. The knoll is pretty big. The teeth are pretty big. this was not a tiny little humanoid that did this. This was probably another Knoll vampire. But you didn't encounter another Knoll vampire. There's not really very many alchemical experiments that can, or at least not ones that you would know about, that would determine whether or not this was like a curse specifically or created by another vampire. But it seems like with the two holes in the neck that are that size, it was probably created by another Knoll vampire.
So I'm just turning around the head in my hands and you know, investigating it, and I say to my comrades, so good news or bad news depending on how you look at it. It would seem that this wasn't the first kobold vampire in the area.
Uh-huh. Fabulous.
Yeah, it did seem like there's a lot of gnolls around, and well, they're pretty bitey, so I guess a lot of gnoll vampires.
Well, the first one did almost kill us, so well, I suppose there ain't any extra precautions to be taken. Well, we know we're gonna run into more of them then. Plus, whatever the hell was, pardon me, eating on its body.
And whatever arranged for the explosive one to try trapping us in the mines.
All right.
Well, I don't
Seems
know
a
how
little
much
more
prep work we can really do, unfortunately. There's not much in this town to prep with.
Very true.
All right. Well, then everybody got their ducks in order.
Yeah,
We should probably swing by the mine so I can drop those off, by the way.
All right.
Ah, yes, the cakes.
So when are you
let's
planning
go.
on dropping off the cakes?
Oh,
I
yes.
guess now.
The mine's like en route to the cave we're going towards, so
Yes.
stop. And Chauncey's gonna be like, I mean, if anyone still wants any, there's a plate with about nine or 10 of them left in the kitchen.
Thank you, Chauncey.
Sneaks away to kitchen.
Of course.
Creepy, creepy. What, how many did you say there was in here? Stuffing like two of them into his face.
You know, other
I
people
only saw 4.
Okay, Marcus. I think he's a little old to be a growing boy.
I don't know what to tell you. But yeah, cupcakes to the Briganock folk.
All right.
I
So
guess
you
we'll
all make your way out. It's probably around 10 o'clock at this point. The stars are very much in the night sky as you all walk across the rickety wooden bridge over to the mines. The mines are still in complete and utter disarray after having been dynamited. But you can still enter the cave, and as you do, surprisingly, you still hear the singing of their old cake song. But as you get into the sort of big cave area that they're in, they're not spread around mining. They're sat around a tiny, tiny little, it's not really a campfire. Um, it's almost like a little candle because they're so tiny, they don't need a lot of heat to keep themselves warm. Um, and so they're kind of drinking and sitting around these like little tiny candles almost in like little camps on the ground. And you see the one that kind of looks like a prospector kind of looks up and, oh, have you brought cakes for us? As he kind of waddles up, his pig nose sniffing heavily, smelling for cakes.
Yeah, Chauncey's gonna kneel and just flip the flap open on his bag of holding and one by one start pulling out these cupcakes sized for humans
Yes.
and just setting them on the ground.
These creatures are like the size of mice if they stood on their hind legs. So they're kind of tiny. These things are like carrying like almost a barrel with them as they're walking away with their like little cupcakes. But it's very clear that they quite enjoy having these very, very large cakes. It's very clear as they sit down. I'm assuming I'm assuming you didn't have like cupcake wrappers for this. So you just like
No, probably not. It was probably we had to roughhouse it a little, but they're Chauncey's just like, I wish I could have had time to candy some lavender to put on top of them, or maybe create a reduction or an essence. But I mean, you sometimes you can only work with the tools you're given. Am I right?
yeah. So of course, in the sort of time bendy way that they freed you all, they one by one sit down and you watch as the area around them, it's a lot smaller of an effect. The area around them kind of has that golden hour glow to it as the cupcake just kind of vanishes as they expend a little bit of their time to eat the cupcake. Um, and of course, the prospector one just goes, well, I thank you very much. You can get rid of that IOU that we gave you. You fulfilled your end of the bargain. If, of course, you need any more help, we'd be happy to help you for cake. But otherwise, I do bid you a good night, where most of us are going to be heading off to bed.
All right. Well, that's one favor owed completed.
Okay, as they're walking back, Marcus just like, okay, that was one of the best things I have ever seen. Thank you for making those cupcakes, Chauncey.
I do what I can.
All right.
Thank
So as you make your way out of the cave and back down towards the village, let me see. Yep. Okay. Who has the highest passive perception? I think it's Velantrios, but it could be somebody else.
I have a
Um,
15.
passive perception. Where are you? Passive perception. I have 15.
Okay. All right. So as you all are making your way back towards the village, you do see, or as you're making your way towards Devil's Thumb, you see there's a group of humanoid figures, as well as a small group of hyenas, about 3 hyenas, and about 5 of these hyena-like figures that are making their way quietly across the bridge. This is basically in the open. So as you all are looking down across the mountain, you're seeing these figures very easily just crossing the bridge into the village. And they begin to like spread out.
Well,
What would
that
you all like to do?
can't possibly be good.
Should we go?
Chase
Kill them? Yes, I think
Yes,
so.
yes. Follow them and kill them. Chase them, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
That. Okay, above. How are we tracking these things? Are we just like running after them like visually? We just gonna catch them?
I'm pretty sure I can track their what's the one I'm looking for?
Footprints.
Steps.
Yeah, their steps.
Do well then. Let's do that. We'll go to the.
Yeah, I'll let you do a survival roll.
It's 24.
Okay. Yep, as you make your way to the bridge, they are definitely coming from Devil's Thumb. And it seems that they've coordinated themselves to split off rather evenly into
Okay.
about 4 groups of 2, and kind of split off. And it's unclear of whether or not they're looking for something or they're just going to start trashing the town. But at this point, you do hear smashing glass and you hear gunfire as someone in one of the houses just opens up with a gun on these creatures. And as that happens, you hear it's familiar in the sense of you've heard something like this before, but it's not familiar in the sense of that you've heard this exact one before. But you hear a very similar laughing to the Knoll vampire that you heard in the mines. And I'm going to need all of you to make me a wisdom saving throw and then roll for initiative.
I'm sorry, what did we hear? What are we hearing?
You're hearing a very similar cackle
Oh,
to
the
what you
cackle.
heard in the
Wow, that's fantastic. I rolled a 10.
I rolled a
Oh, wait.
20.
No, I didn't. I'm sorry. That was a wisdom check, not a wisdom saving throw.
Oh,
An
is there a
11.
difference?
yes.
11.
So you, Marcus, are frightened once again.
Yay. Still failed.
Oh, there we
Not
go.
great at
Saving
wisdom.
throw. 26.
You succeed. You're in a bigger space. You can run away from this thing, or it might be easier to spot in a big wide open area that isn't filled with walls. You've dealt with one of these things before. That is not a great roll. Chauncey and Jed.
I got a
failed.
5.
So you are frightened. And Jed, Virgil.
I failed.
Okay.
Yeah.
So everybody except for Velantrios, you are frightened of this thing. This thing's haunting presence. It's a different one, but you've faced these things before and they are scary. And so now I'm going to need everybody to roll initiative that I've been trying to do, but failing.
I don't know why I said it was a good idea to chase that thing.
Initiative.
Oh, yeah. Initiative.
I got
Yes.
a 21.
24.
There we are.
6.
I got a
I'm
19.
sorry, it's the way you said it. So for 6.
And now I have to
got
roll for
11.
all of these things. Oh my goodness.
Come here. Come here.
Well, that didn't do too well. I should have pre-rolled this initiative.
You're fine.
Get you time to get organized. Ooh, yikes. That was a terrible roll. And then how much do these things? My goodness. That was too far. Holy cow. Oh, okay. So that's fine. These things are not rolling too hot. Oh, nope, that one rolled pretty hot. All right. So that is a 12, not a 13. Oh my goodness. So first up is Marcus with Chauncey on deck.
Okay. Yeah, Marcus is fucking shit in his pants. He was kind of pretty scared of the first one. So
Yes, you
he's
are
like
indeed frightened.
quaking, like holding on to that axe, like, let's see what we're gonna do. Thankfully, I don't actually attack a lot, so frightened doesn't make a huge difference. Can we see the thing? Do we know where it's at? Or did we
You
only
do
hear?
not know where you've only heard this thing. These things are very good at hiding and running around. Um,
All right.
I will say you can identify which house opened up on the Knoll invaders. And it is 60 feet in front of you, just in a straight line. But other than that, you don't see any of the other gnolls or hyenas.
Okay, then I guess wait. So check that house maybe? Then?
You certainly can.
Okay. Yeah, I'll in my terrified piss-filled boots run up and check that house. I only got a 30-foot speed. I'm not trying to dash.
All right. And how much dark vision do you have?
Uh, I I do have some kind of dark vision, right? Where is that?
I think so.
Extras? Spells?
Might be under features and traits.
Good call. Racial traits, maybe. Do I not have dark vision this go
Uh-oh.
around? Wait a minute. I'm a
Uh-oh.
I'm a fae. I have to. I thought I did. Nope, I don't think I have dark vision this time.
Oh no.
Fantastic. So, I feel like maybe I shouldn't be the one to be checking out this house. I feel like I should probably chill, actually. Um, all right, it's a little bit late. I said I was going to run up there. So how about I hold by the door until my allies arrive. And then if they spot something, I will I don't know. What are we going to do? Yeah. I'll dissonant whispers it. That's what I'll do. Can we ready a dissonant whispers?
Yes, you certainly can.
All right, we'll do that. And bonus action, can we say like before I ran away, I bardic inspiration somebody? We'll give it to Virgil Jed.
Cool.
All right. So next up we have Chauncey.
Okay. So I can't see it anywhere, but I just watch as Marcus runs towards one of the houses with some glass shattered. Um, so if I cast a spell that makes me immune to being frightened, it'll wear off, right?
I believe it will be suppressed until I believe it's suppressed until the spell ends. And if you wouldn't have already saved out of it, it will return until you save out of it. So like if the frighten lasts a minute, you put up a spell that suppresses it for 1 round. It then goes back to 5 rounds left until the minute is up, unless you save out of it. But if you put it up on like round 9 and then it goes down the next round, when it would have already gone down, it would have already gone down. So it suppresses it, but it doesn't stop the timer on it.
Oh, I
I
mean,
believe.
Chauncey's going to cast heroism on himself, which makes him immune to being frightened.
So if heroism at all goes down before the frighten would go down, you have however much time is left between the time the heroism went down and the time the frighten would normally end to save out of it. But you don't need to save out of it, and it's
I also
suppressed,
get
so you don't suffer the effects of it.
and yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna cast heroism on myself and move towards where I saw Marcus go. I've got my hammer out, and I've got Lovey May at my side, and I'm just gonna, I guess, like square up, just cast heroism, and I'm good.
All right. So next up, we have a creature. Um, so bursting out of one of the houses over to your right, it doesn't have enough movement speed to get to anyone, to attack them. But it can run up almost to Jed and Velantrios. This creature is, as you can see, is very clearly some sort of holy creature. It's wearing teeth and bones in a way that is religious. It has sort of religious scarification on its face, and it carries sort of these bone knives as it kind of dashes up to you. But it had to use all of its movement to get to you, so it is not going to attack you. However, it is now Velantrios' turn.
So it's coming up to me.
It's basically within 10 feet of you. It won't be able to make a melee attack, but you could move up and make a melee attack if you wanted.
So the fact that it's like a holy thing just completely tosses what I wanted to do into the trash bin. Because I was expecting it to be like another vampire, so I was gonna do like guiding bolt or sacred word.
I mean, you can still do that. It probably doesn't have any resistance to radiant
Yeah.
damage, so damage is damage.
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to, or there we go. Radiant word or word of radiance. I'm going to cast word of radiance,
All
and
right.
so I'm going to look straight at it, and I'm going to say, "Fuck off."
Middle finger up, light blasts.
Love
What saving throw is word of radiance?
The saving throw is
It's probably either dexterity or constitution.
there we go. Attack saving throw is Constitution 16.
Well, it rolled a 4, so it's taking full damage. So roll damage for this thing. Bless you.
2d6.
All right, roll me 2d6 and tell me how much damage it is as you blast this thing directly in the eyes.
It is going to 3 damage.
Well, it's still damage.
Yeah.
So yeah, this thing yowls in pain as you stick up your middle finger and blast it with light. Everybody at this point, you hear people clanging, getting up after they've seen a bright flash of light. And that's when you start hearing lots and lots of shouting. And then after, oh, oops, was that not the right? That was not the right creature. That's fine. I'll fix it later. After that, yep, I'm gonna skip that creature. I'm gonna say you hear a gunshot and a yowl from the house that you were previously from, and you hear something hit the ground. And bursting out from that house is what looks to be just like standard infantry Knoll carrying a spear that bursts out of the house. And I will say your dissonant whispers goes off, Marcus, as this creature runs out of the house with the spear.
Yeah, that would do it. So that is wisdom 14.
It's probably not going to make it because it's a stupid old Knoll.
Thank God.
Well, it rolled a natural 20.
Well,
and it has a +0 in whiz, so it got a natural 20. So
fabulous. Although I think it still takes half. So half is 4.
all right.
And it doesn't have to move. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It just 4 psychic damage.
It yowls in pain suddenly as it's racked with horrible whispers that swirl through its ears. Do.
Oh, wait. Can
What?
I silvery barbs that?
I no, you can't because you saved your saved
Oh
action
yeah, because and I
uses
use
your
that as my
reaction.
that
So
uses reaction to yeah. Okay.
so yeah, you sadly cannot silvery
All
barbs
right.
that.
Fair enough.
Do. I'm skipping a lot just because they're not visible, but that's fine. And we are to Jed.
Neat. So I'm frightened, so I can't move any closer. Um,
Right.
and there's two that I can see now.
Yes, two that you can see.
And how far away are they?
One is about 60 feet away, and the other is like 10 feet away because Velantrios blasted it in the eyes with his word of radiance, and you're standing next to him.
Nice. I
Oh,
guess.
is there any chance that I could do like a what is it called? Um, blah blah blah. Um, no, that's not it. Bless.
You already used your action to
Okay.
cast Word of Radiance, so you'll have to cast Bless on your turn.
All right.
So, any attack rolls I make are at disadvantage now too, right?
I believe it's if you can see the thing. You can't see the thing,
Ah,
at least not at the
Disadvantage
moment.
on yeah, while oh no, it says while the source of its fear is within line of sight.
Yeah, and this thing is not within line of sight.
Oh, okay.
oh,
Yeah.
which I
You
can't.
don't know.
So I
This isn't.
can move then.
Yes, you are. It's more of a vibe.
It's more of a
It's more of
vibe.
a vibe at the moment until this thing decides to make an entrance. It's a vibe. You're creeped out by
Cool.
it knowing that it's there. Um,
So, will I provoke an opportunity attack if I move?
no, because it is 10 feet away from you.
Cool. I'm gonna just
Lanthrios
move
was able to
past it.
blast it, but yeah.
I'm
All
gonna move
right.
30 feet closer to where Marcus is, and so there's like a religious looking one and a soldier looking one.
The soldier looking one just burst out of the house. The religious looking one was the one that ran up to you all.
Cool. And I feel like there's gonna be more gnolls in the direction where Marcus is, right?
Maybe.
Mm.
That's like towards where town is, and that's where they were going.
Well, you're currently like in town.
Ah,
You're
cool.
fighting these things in the town square. They've already gotten to town. They've already started breaking into homes.
Neat. All
Fabulous.
right. I guess I'm gonna just do my flaming sphere on the one next to I guess the one next to Marcus.
All right. So you launch out your flaming sphere. And I'm assuming you're positioning it in such a way that it's not going to hit Marcus.
Yeah. And then can I use my bonus action on this turn to just slam it with the flaming sphere?
I believe so. If it says that you can, like on the turn.
Doesn't say that you can't.
So I'm going to take that as a yes, you can slam it.
Cool. Yeah, so he needs to make me a dexterity save DC 16.
Well, it rolled a natural one. So after
Hell
getting
yeah.
suddenly whispered at menacingly, it then gets booped by a giant ball of fire.
And he takes ooh, a big sound. Wow, 2 damage.
Oh,
Awesome. That's my turn.
all right. Um, yeah, so a few more gnolls, two more gnolls and a hyena are all gonna burst out of the houses, hearing the commotion in the town square. However, they don't have enough movement to really do anything, so we are back up to the top with Marcus. However, those of you that are frightened currently, which I believe is Jedidiah and Marcus,
Do I get to
you
make a
are
save at the end of my turn?
um let me see. And my fan flips the page. Cool. Love having the pages being flipped this far. Um, yes. So both you and Marcus will be able to make a wisdom saving throw to see if you save out of the frightened effect.
Cool.
Oh,
14.
like now? We're saving now?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So 14 does not succeed, sadly.
Rip.
You're
And
still
I'm
frightened.
pretty sure a 7 is not going to do any better.
Nope.
Nope. Awesome. Awesome. Hey, what it is. Thank you. Love you.
So you are both still frightened. Out of the corner of your eye, you see between one of the buildings, between two of the buildings, is a humanoid figure. This person is not a gnoll. You could easily mistake them from being just a villager. It's hard to make out their sort of facial features, but you notice their eyes are glowing green. And at this point, you realize this is the source of your fear. And I am going to 1-2 is Marcus, 3-4 is Jed. For Jedidiah, I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw as it turns its gaze on you, and you begin to feel physically violently ill.
God, I'm rolling so terrible right now. I got a 7.
All right.
We're going to die.
You are
Yeah.
poisoned.
Cool.
You are now both frightened and poisoned as this thing turns its gaze on you, and
I
it
threw up a
slips
little.
behind one of the buildings. And we are back up to the top with Marcus. So now that this thing has been in your line of sight, you have disadvantage on attack rolls.
Oh, holy fuck. Holy fuck. The fuck is that thing?
What's even worse is that it was definitely human shaped. It wasn't null shaped, it was human shaped.
Okay. Well, and so I still have this null thing in front of me.
Yes, you do.
Fantastic.
Hmm.
So how far away is that thing that the frightened creature thingy? Is it more than 30?
Well, it is now.
Okay.
It appeared, it was about 30 feet away. Well, it was 30 feet away from Jed. So it was probably 45 to 50 feet away from you.
Fine. It's good.
Because
It's good.
Pythagorean's theorem.
Sure.
But it slipped behind one of the buildings.
Okay. Then I am, I think, gonna go for, let's see. Let's do a no. Sorry. I wasn't prepared for it to be my turn. I apologize. You know what? We're gonna try Dissonant Whispers again, actually. That's what we're gonna do.
All right.
Because I need this thing away from me before it hits me. So I'm gonna need another Wisdom 14.
It rolled a 16, so it'll be taking half damage.
Mother ass fucker.
Apparently, these things are very resilient.
They're rolling quite well on Wisdom. Okay. There we go. And that's going to be another exactly 4. Fabulous.
I mean, this thing isn't looking too hot. So you're chipping away at it. Is there anything else that you would like to do before we move on to Chauncey?
No, I think I'm not gonna do anything with my bonus action. And I'm just gonna chill
All
like
right.
here. Because it's like melee distance from us now, right? Or how far is this thing that burst out of the house?
Yeah, I would say it's melee distance.
Okay, yeah, I'm not trying to opportunity, you know.
Right. All right. So, Chauncey, this thing is now in front of you, and behind it is a ball of fire. There's also this gnoll vampire that can take the form of a human that's somewhere, and
And
some hyenas and gnolls have burst out of the house, out of various houses.
in the back, we got Velantrios with a knoll thing on him too. We're gonna attack the one right in front of me. It'll be fine. Okay. Oh, that's not a good roll. What is my plus to hit?
Oh,
Does
yeah.
a 13? Does a 13 hit?
No, it does not. It manages to dodge as you bring the hammer down, slamming it into the ground.
Let's try again. I have extra attack.
Oh,
How's a 24?
it was only expecting you to hit once. And as you bring the hammer down, you do a quick swing and uppercut it straight into the ribs as you smash it with your hammer.
It's like,
Okay.
oh
So
shit, they're
that'll
level
be
5.
yeah. So 11 17 magical bludgeoning damage and another 3, so 20 damage total. 3 fire damage.
You you fold this thing like a lawn chair as you smash through the ribs. Its fur catches on fire as it flops to the ground in an awkward L shape after you've smashed it in the ribs.
Okay. Are the two of you okay? You seem a little off. Also I got 5 temporary hit points at the start of my turn. You guys seem a little stressed. I think we should take a calming breath. I'm gonna
Because
go
you are
help
violently ill.
Velantrios. So
I want to go home.
we all left him behind. So Chauncey and Lovey May, they have 35 and 40 movement speed respectively. So I think we can get back to him.
Yes.
And
Just
Lovey May is
about.
going to take her attack on the one that he's fighting.
All right, awesome.
With my bonus action, we're going to have her swing. It's another 13 to hit.
Sadly, this does not hit. She kicks and it twists, and her foot makes contact with a very heavy piece of leather that is strapped to this sort of holy vestment that this gnoll is wearing, and it does not make enough of an impact to damage it.
Okay. That should be. That's all I can do. That was my action, my bonus action, and I'm in the back helping him out with the shamany looking one, and we got the boys up front puking and shitting their pants. It's fine. We're fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine. So now it is the
Boys.
holy looking one. It's actually going to. Yes, it is. It's going to move in such a way that it can make a melee attack against both Velantrios and Lovey May. So we'll do Lovey May first. Does a 19 hit Lovey May?
That it does.
All right. So that's going to be 11 points of slashing damage as the bone knife just through Lovey
Okay.
May's armor. And then Velantrios.
I'll give it disadvantage on the attack on Velantrios.
Well, you don't need to. It rolled a 3. So it makes another swipe towards Velantrios, and you step back. At this point, it turns and it's going to make a bite attack against Lovey May. Does a 24 hit?
Yep,
Is Lovey May immune to poison damage?
I believe so. Let me double check. Yep, she's immune to poison damage.
All right. So she's only going to be taking 10 piercing damage as this holy shaman gnoll just bites down on one of Lovey May's joints. And that is it for his turn, and it is now Velantrios' turn. You are in melee range with this creature, and it has just swiped at you with a bone knife.
Does Hellish Rebuke still work even if it didn't technically cause damage against me?
It's a reaction spell.
It's a
It's a
reaction.
reaction, but I think you have to take damage for it to work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Because then I question,
Uh-huh.
would create water still work in someone's lungs?
I'm going to say no, it needs to be a point that you can see.
Damn it.
Sorry,
Right
we're
on.
not doing the boil people from inside tactic. It doesn't quite work.
Ruining all my fun.
There are ways we can do that, but not like that.
Okay, I guess I'm just gonna cast infestation.
All right. And that's a constitution saving throw.
Yep, Constitution 16.
16. It only got a 14. So roll damage, and I don't know where it's moving.
Attack. So let's see. Infestation. It is going to be 10 damage.
Oof. 10 damage. Oof. All right. And then it's actually going to, as it screeches and yowls as these what do the fleas or whatever it is look like as you conjure them onto him?
They're just I imagine they would be like very like green mites and what is it? Mites and fleas and other parasites and like these biting worms just crawling all over it and biting at it.
As these things appear and he yelps and screams, he actually runs away from Lovey May past you, so he is behind you currently as he's yelping and yowling. And then
I imagine that Velantrios would find a very sadistic pleasure in this, and
oh, I'm sure.
just like letting out. He wouldn't be taking the situation seriously. He would just be laughing at the thing being in pain.
So at this point, yep, I believe all of the gnolls have left the houses, but there are still the villagers. Some gunshots ring out. And I gotta. Okay. Ow. Yeah. All right. So the two hyenas that were left are shot, and the regular hyenas are not a threat anymore. One of the gnolls does take about 5 damage. Injuring it quite a lot, but all of the other ones are unharmed. And it is now Jed's turn.
Cool. Is the one I just slammed with my ball alive, or is he dead?
Nope. Chauncey folded him like a lawn chair with his hammer.
Cool. Who
Yep.
is alive? That needs to be dead still.
There
Two gnolls, you
is-
said?
Yeah, there's 2 gnolls. There's 2 regular gnolls. There's the one that just ran away from Velantrios, who looks a little holy. There is a pretty beefy one, and then you know there is the vampire one somewhere. You don't quite know where.
Cool. Is there a gnoll that's within 30 feet of my ball?
I'm going to say no, sadly.
Cool. Okay, I guess I'll move my ball 30 feet closer to a gnoll.
All right, I will say that you can do
And
that.
then for my action, are any of them injured already?
The one that is fighting Velantrios with the 2 bone knives has definitely been harmed
I
multiple
will
times.
cast Toll the Dead on that one.
All right. What
which
saving throw is
a
that?
Wisdom save 16.
Well, it rolled a 4. So it's going to be
Cool.
taking full damage. And it is damage, so you'll
Yeah.
be using d12s instead of d8s.
Which for some reason fucking D&D Beyond doesn't give you the D12 option.
Oh, that's weird.
It's
What?
just the D8 option from what I can see. I don't
It's
know how to
right
make it the
above the
D12s.
D10. It's right under the D20?
No, I don't mean like I'm not using the regular dice buttons. Like you can click on the buttons of the spells and
Oh.
it's supposed to roll for you.
I'm
but
assuming because the text doesn't specifically say d12, they
Oh,
didn't turn that into a button. They're just like, oh yeah, just use d12s if the creature's injured. So it doesn't have a
Yeah.
separate button. It only has the d8 button.
right.
So you may just have to roll 2d12.
All right, well that's 13 necrotic damage.
13. Woof. This thing is not looking too hot as a bell rings out and it shivers. The oncoming death that it knows is coming for it shakes it to its core. Is there anything else that you would like to do? You've moved your ball. You've told the dead.
The frightened thingy isn't in my line of sight, right? So I can move.
Right, yes.
Cool. I guess I'll move 30 feet closer to a knoll.
I
All
love how
right.
it's always the big bad boss that's supposed to be a big threat that we handled no problem.
All right, so we're looks like there is still one more knoll. It's gonna make its
do I get
way.
to save against my shit?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
You
yeah.
sadly you don't get to save against the poison, sadly.
All right.
But you do get to
Well,
save against the frightened. And Marcus, you get to save against the frightened as well. Sorry, I forgot about that.
it's a wisdom save.
I need you to stop.
God damn it. Got a 9.
Okay, so you are still frightened of this creature.
I keep rolling on actual wisdom. What did I just roll? I also rolled. It's a 10. I failed. I fucking failed.
So you are still frightened of this thing,
Mother lover.
which is going to make an appearance. And it has used its movement speed that it has plenty of.
Fun.
Yay.
And it's going to, in its hybrid form, you watch as this humanoid steps out from behind the building. And you hear a familiar voice, the voice that was shouting for help down in the lair. And it just says, "You didn't come to help me." And then it turns into another one of the knoll vampire creatures as it charges forward. And it's going to attempt to multi-attack you.
Who?
Marcus.
Yay.
Your hot stuff.
Yay. My armor class
So
is
first it's going to swipe at you with its claw. Oh, that is a 2.
fantastic.
And then it's going to attempt to bite you.
Woo.
As you dodge out of the way of its claw, it goes at you with a bite. And it got a 19 plus 8.
Silvery barbs. Jeez.
17 plus 8.
Mother trucker. Yeah, okay. Yes.
So it gets its bite off.
I need a 1.
So you take 10 piercing damage.
Okay, and I'm gonna give the advantage to Chauncey.
You turn into a vampire if you're bitten by a vampire in this universe.
It's a little bit more complicated.
Yeah.
Okay.
And 11 points of poison damage. No, wait, no, necrotic damage.
I'm sorry. Give me all that again.
You're going to
11
be taking 11 points of necrotic damage. Your hit point maximum is also going to be reduced by 11.
Holy penis.
Yeah,
Okay.
this thing is nasty. But it is right there menacing you. And it's your turn now.
Yay. Okay. So, peeing. Can I use my action to defecate on my attacker?
Oh my god.
No. I
I was about to
hear
say
this is a
that provides you with no mechanical benefit.
I hear this is a valuable tactic. Like
But he would feel icky.
Talk about your shitty situation.
I've been told this is very effective. No, actually,
I mean,
let's
if you're a monkey, then yes, but
Well, I mean,
you are not a monkey.
I feel like
there are
oh,
if it's injured, then there could be like some credit to
It's
shitting
also
on it.
undead. It's probably immune to diseases.
probably, yeah.
Corpses don't get more dead because you shit on it.
No, but it does get pissed off.
Not with that attitude.
Okay, let's try for nope. Okay. I'm gonna vicious mockery is what we're gonna do. So I don't know. I'm gonna try really hard, but he's gonna fail miserably, right? Like you bastard mean, like he's trying.
So are you saying that you were intentionally failing
No.
at
I
your
mean,
vicious
just like
mockery? Okay.
just the actual words. Like he's failing at producing words. He's still gonna cast
So
this.
I'm gonna say that the spell is gonna work off of just utter bafflement and confusion in what the fuck is coming out of your mouth, rather than ouch, that hurt me because it was
Right.
me. Ouch, that hurt me because you make no fucking sense.
I'm just imagining like the mechanics of the spell being like, eh.
So he rolled a
No,
5.
yeah, it's a wisdom. He rolled a 5.
Yes. With only a +1 to wisdom.
Yay! I did one. Thank you, Chauncey. So yeah, that's a D4.
Is it not 2d4 because you leveled up to level 5? Or does Vicious Mockery only do 1d4?
1D4.
Wouldn't
Oh,
it be 2d4?
I thought it scaled.
It does scale when you're at 5th level, but I'm not a 5th level bard.
It just scales in general when you hit
It
fifth.
scales
Even
in
if you
general.
multi-classed, it'll still
Right.
scale in general.
So
So
a
it's
first level wizard with cantrips that takes 19 levels in Barbarian still casts cantrips at 20th level.
Yeah, look at that. Yeah, sure is. Okay, that's fun. All right, so 5 psychic. And what is that? Disadvantage on its next attack roll? Yeah.
I believe so.
And I'm also going to hex it. Let's do that.
Oh, right. And you can, because Vicious Mockery is a cantrip and not a spell.
Yes. So yeah. Wait, that's it. It just does it. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, Hex is a bit brutal sometimes. When used
All right.
correctly, Hex can be brutal.
Let's say I'm gonna do dexterity.
So that's what, skills that involve dexterity?
Ability checks.
Ability checks, yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
and I'll chill.
All right. So now it is Chauncey's turn.
You can handle that one. I think they might need a little more help than you. Good luck. Chauncey just shouts at Velantrios as he does his like anime protagonist impression of turning back around and running to the other guys.
Blanchard's
Yep.
just like toodaloo.
Like we helped out a little down here, and Lovey May's behind him, but she's looking a little ragged at this point too. She got kind of fucked up getting bit by that other one.
Oh, it gets an attack of actually it is not going to use its attack of opportunity on Lovey May. It's going to let Lovey May go.
Well, I mean, if it moved 10 feet away, it wouldn't have an attack of opportunity anymore, would it?
True. Right.
Yeah.
I forgot it moved because of the infestation, so it wouldn't have gotten
Yep.
it anyway, but it would have let
So
Levy May go.
hell yeah. I'm gonna just charge the vampire one that's up on my weak boys, my little babies. Because they're scared and they're sick, and I've got advantage on this attack roll. So here we go. First swing. How does a 27 do against its AC?
It is distracted by Marcus, and you slam it right in the side of the head. Just
Yay!
come out of nowhere. And here comes Chauncey with the folding chair. Crack.
Right. Yes.
So 11. Do you need me to split my fire and bludgeoning damage at all, or can I just add it all together?
Nope, just add it all together. Your bludgeoning is magical. So
Yeah. So 13 damage on that hit.
ouchie.
And I'm going to use extra attack to swing at it again.
Uh-huh.
That is going to be a 19 to hit.
Yep, it turns its head in surprise as you give another upper swing and just smash it right underneath the jaw.
And that's going to be 14 damage on that hit.
Oof.
And
Yeah,
I'm
this
actually
thing
going to have
is-
Lovey May repair herself instead of taking an attack with her action. So she's going to heal herself a little, because that's something Steel Defenders can do 3 times a day.
Cool. All right.
she's
So
gonna
now
get
this thing,
8
the
plus
Knoll Fang, is going to turn around now that it's run away. It's going to snarl, and it's going to go for you, Velantrios, once again. It's going to make 2 attacks. Does a 17 hit you?
It does.
All right, I'll do the other one just in case. 5 does not hit you. So only one of its attacks hit you. Oh, that is the wrong die. So you're going to be taking 10 points of slashing damage, and then it's going to try and bite you. I'm assuming 18
Okay.
hits you.
It does.
All right. Then I'm going to need you to make a Constitution saving throw as it sinks its fangs into your shoulder.
Constitution. Constitution. I got a 7.
All right, so you take
Oh wait,
7
no,
points.
wrong one. Sorry. Not that that's any better. 9.
It doesn't make a difference. So you take 6 points of piercing damage, and you're going to be taking as well 4 points of poison damage as this thing's nasty mouth latches onto you. But
Okay.
it is your turn, and it has moved itself into melee range. So
Yay.
you can punch it in the face.
Okay, I'm going to do that while simultaneously doing Hellish Rebuke.
Ah, yes. All right. So Hellish Rebuke. That's going to be your reaction to getting damaged. So it's a dexterity saving throw.
Once I'm looking it up. I don't want to just type it.
And if you're casting it using your Tiefling ability, I believe it gets an extra level.
Yay.
I believe it's at you get to cast it at 2nd level through your Tiefling ability.
I point my finger at the creature that damaged me, and it's momentarily surrounded by hellish flames.
Yes.
And it must make a dexterity saving throw. The dex 13.
It rolled a 4.
Yeah.
So it just gets slammed with fire that you shoot out of your body. So
can I
roll damage.
So I point my finger at it, and it ignites in like black flame.
Ooh. All right. So roll your damage. And yeah, I think you get to cast it. It's upcast, so it does extra damage if you're doing it through your Tiefling ability.
How would I do that?
It just
Like-
happens automatically if you're using your tiefling ability, but you only get to use it once per long
Okay,
rest.
but how do I apply that to the damage in D&D Beyond?
Okay, so Hellish Rebuke should come up as a first level spell. You look at
It
how
comes up
much
as a
extra
second level.
damage. Oh, then you're probably using it through your ability already, so just click the damage for that one.
Okie dokie. It is going to be 16 damage.
There you go.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, that was upcast. That's 3d10.
Yeah. Yeah, you blast this thing with fire. This thing is not looking too good. It's looking very raggedy. It looks like it could bolt at any second, but since that is your reaction, it is now the beginning of your turn. You have your action to do something to it.
Fabulous.
uh,
Nice play.
I would like to cast Spike Growth.
All right. Are you casting it underneath? Where are you casting Spike Growth?
Because it's
Um,
20 foot diameter circle.
Yeah, it's a 20-foot diameter circle that you can cast up to 60 feet away. So where are you putting the Spike Growth?
I'm putting it like, so it's in front of me, right?
Yes,
So I'm assuming it's going to be like running away from me.
probably
So,
yes.
So I'm going to cast Spike Growth in front of me where it would run away.
All right. You do so. Since it hasn't moved, it doesn't take damage. Yet. But it will when it moves. Is that the end of your turn? Do you have a bonus action you want to use?
Let's see. What bonus actions do I have?
I don't think you have any.
I don't
Unless
think
you
you
want to
have the
like
bonus
shillelagh
action
or
heal?
something.
Shillelagh.
You have your bonus action for your subclass. You have a
Oh
healing.
yes, your
bonus
Balm of the
action for
Summer
your
Court.
subclass.
Oh
You get
yeah.
your Balm of the
Yeah.
Summer Court from your Druid thing, so you can heal yourself.
Or
do
your
that.
allies. It's got a decent range.
It does.
Where do I do that?
But not
Action.
me, because my hit point max got reduced, so I'm technically at full HP.
Oh yeah.
Was it
So
only reduced by the necrotic damage you took?
Yeah, so as a bonus action, blah blah blah. Get away from me, you description. By spending dice from my pool, I'm gonna restore HP to myself within 120 feet range, blah blah blah.
You are
I
within
also
120 feet of yourself, so
Yeah. I'm also going to, and I also gain um uh one temporary hit point.
all right. So
So
roll to heal yourself up.
4d6.
While you are rolling, I think apparently I missed some damage. I only took 11 necrotic and reduced my HP. What
I
else
think
was?
you took 10 piercing damage as
Okay.
well.
Let's do that.
So you
All
took
right.
10 piercing damage. That doesn't reduce your maximum HP, but the necrotic damage does reduce your maximum HP.
Good. Got it. Sorry. Thank
So
you.
23 plus 19 is,
All right.
I mean, I'm not a mathematician.
23 plus 19. Oh my goodness.
42.
Yes.
Plus one temporary hit point, which brings me back to 43.
Amazing. All right. So after Velantrios, it's going to be Nope, that thing already took its turn. I believe it's going to be the villagers that are also going to fire once again. They're going to just start wild firing at these things because they want these things gone.
Seems legit. Thanks, villagers.
They only have rifles and pistols. So yep, that knoll is going to be damaged. It's not on very much HP. That one is also not going to be on very much HP. They miss everything else because they're terrible shots. And yep, we're going to go back to Jed. There are 3 gnolls, one that is still fighting Velantrios, and then there's 2 other gnolls that are just kind of hanging out, and then there's the gnoll vampire, which is on Marcus and has taken a bite out of him and then got smacked pretty hard.
In the
Um,
ribs face area.
Just for a little bit of like role play flavor too, Chauncey definitely angled himself so that he's blocking if this thing was trying to approach Virgil. Virgil's his name currently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got the
Virgil.
doll next to you. We're a little triangle of fun right now.
Triangle of fun.
A triangle of fun again.
Yeah, so
It
there's
just sounds
3
like a threesome.
gnolls and one of them is a vampire, right?
Well, there's 4 gnolls, 3 of them.
Cool.
There's 4
Is my
gnolls.
flaming sphere within 30 feet of a gnoll?
Yes, it is.
Boom. Slam it.
Cool. I'm gonna smack him.
Smack it with it. Smack
All
it with
right, make me an attack roll.
Is that an attack roll or is that still a save?
I think
No,
it's an
still a
attack roll.
Is it? No,
Yeah.
it's a save.
Oh, it's a save. What save is it?
Yeah.
Dexterity, I'm assuming.
Dexterity 16.
Well, it rolled a 7, so it's getting bopped.
Cool. For 2d6 damage.
Pop it in the butt.
3.
Okay, this thing is still up, but it is not doing so hot. And I'm assuming that was your bonus action.
Awesome. Yeah, it's my bonus action. I guess I'll just, because I have disadvantage on attack rolls now, I'm still just gonna be doing saving throw stuff. I guess I'll do another Toll of the Dead.
On which one?
On
That one?
whichever one looks like it's almost dead.
The one you bopped.
Cool,
We'll
that
say
guy.
that.
Yeah.
Wisdom saving throw. It has a +0, so it's 12. It only got a 12.
Cool. And he's gonna take 17 necrotic damage.
Jesus Christ, it's dead.
Good.
It grabs its chest and just crumples to the ground.
Beautiful.
All
Was this the
right.
big one?
No. The big one is still up,
Oh,
and it's
and then
still
I
pretty
get to
nasty.
save against my frighten. I'm gonna
Oh,
do
yes.
that.
And Marcus, if you would like to save against your
Oh.
frighten as well.
Why am I rolling such fucking hot garbage? I've not rolled like on the dice above a 10 at all.
Yes. I got an 18.
After seeing Chauncey absolutely just come out of nowhere and beat this thing's face in twice, it's not so scary to you. You take a nice big deep breath and you're like, we can handle this thing. Virgil, Jed, on the other hand, it sounds like you are still frightened of this thing, that this thing is
Yeah.
it still has the command of these
Spooky.
gnolls, and who knows if others have fed on it, if there's more kicking around. Maybe this isn't the end. Maybe this is the end. Who knows? So after Jed, all of the other gnolls have basically kicked the bucket. Actually, nope, there's one gnoll still kicking around. It's going to charge you, Virgil. It's going to try and poke you with its spear.
Don't do that.
Oh,
Hey, I wish you wouldn't.
Does an 18 hit?
Shield.
I think it might.
Oh, shield spell.
Yeah.
Oh.
All right, so you cast shield. What does Jedidiah's shield look like? Is it also holy
Fire.
magic?
It's
Fire.
fire. Yeah.
A thin flame spreads out as it blang tries to hit you, but it bounces off this solid fire. And we are back up to the top with this horrible gnoll vampire that you watch as its wounds begin to knit back together. And it is going to turn on Chauncey and it's going to try and swipe at you and take a bite out of you, which it's probably not going to be able to do.
Don't forget its first attack roll has disadvantage from that vicious mockery our homie Marcus threw on it.
Right. So only rolled an 11 plus 8,
Oh,
assuming a 19 doesn't hit.
A 19 does not hit my AC.
Thought not. And then the bite does a 19 hit. Wait, 20. Unnatural 20.
Can I give it disadvantage on the bite from Lovey May?
Yes, you may. Rolled a 6, never mind.
fabulous.
So it does nothing except for heal. And it is now Marcus's turn. You are no longer frightened of this creature.
That's right. And it got whacked pretty fucking good. Okay, let's see what we're gonna do here. And wait, no, I targeted the one that was in front of me and then that thing died. I guess I will. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna sleep it.
You're going to sleep it.
Yep.
Interesting tactic.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm just going to let you do that. Roll how much damage?
Okay, so I have 15 to work with.
15 what?
15 points to work with for sleep.
Oh, that's not going to sleep it.
Oh, poop. Okay. Yep.
It has a lot of hit points.
Yep.
You can try upcasting it if you want, but
I thought we did a lot more than we did. I thought we did a lot.
no, this thing has a lot of hit points and it also healed at the beginning of its turn. So I'm sorry.
That's okay. We will use. I think I'm gonna have to use my card. Yeah, I will use the Dissonant Whispers that I usually keep saved in that card. So that is a
All
wisdom
right.
14.
Wisdom.
No, I can't. Because that would be 2 levels. So I'm good. I'm good.
All right.
I'm good. That was a terrible failure of a turn, but I'm good.
All right. So now we're at Chauncey. Chauncey, what would you like to do?
I think it's time we swing, batter, swing.
Oh, wait. Bardic
Oh.
Inspiration. There you go, Chauncey.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Chauncey gets Bardic Inspiration.
Yay. First attack.
Uh-huh.
That's a 16 to hit.
It brings up its claw and bats your hammer away as it
Ooh,
snarls,
can I use
knowing
my
your
Bardic
tricks.
Inspiration?
Yes, you may.
Yeah.
What's the die on it?
It is a 6.
A D6, I would assume.
Okay, how's a 17?
That is exact. It miscalculates how hard it would need to stop your hammer, and you smash right through one of its fingers, bending it backwards
Boom.
as it yowls
Ooh.
in pain.
So that's going to be 18 damage from that swing.
Ouchie doodle.
And we're going to extra attack and swing again. Oh, I don't think a 12 is going to hit.
It did not miscalculate, and it stops your hammer before letting it go.
Okay, and we will do one attack from Lovey May. And she got a 19.
So, yep, she gives a horrible kick straight into its hip. And it lurches to the side a little bit as you hear something crack very softly from her tiny little doll foot.
It's going to take 12 points of force damage from the kick.
Ouchie. This thing is
And
not doing too hot.
it can heal itself. It'll be fine.
All right.
Those are all my tricks.
All right. It is now the knoll with the bone knives. It's going to turn and hightail it. It's how much damage per 5 feet?
1 second. Spells. Spike. Should have had this up before. I apologize.
I think it's like 1d4 piercing per 5 feet.
It's
I think it's more actually.
damage. Where are you?
2d
The ground of 20. Blah blah blah.
2d4 for every 5 feet.
Oh. All right. It's going to move 5 feet.
So 2d4. Roll. It is going to be 3 damage.
Boom. From the
Plus the damage it's getting from the Hellish Rebuke.
Are you
Yes.
casting Hellish Rebuke again?
Oh wait,
I don't think
no,
you can.
is that all? I didn't think the flames would just instantly go out.
Nope, they instantly go out.
Yeah, it's just a once a fire off thing.
So I'm going to roll a wisdom save for it. If it fails this wisdom saving throw, it's going to move another 5 feet out of sheer terror of, the fact that you just beat it the hell up. If not, it's going to stop and it won't take any more damage.
All right.
And it stops as it looks down at the ground and whips around. It does not move another 5 feet. So it only takes 3 points of damage, but this thing looks so hurt. Like you could sneeze on it and it's going to die. And coincidentally, it is now your turn.
Yay. Let's see. I am going to cast command
On
the
one that was running away.
yeah.
What is your command?
I think it's a 1-word command.
Yes.
So I'm going to tell it, I'm going to say run.
And what kind of saving throw is it?
It is a wisdom 16.
Roll to 14, has a +0. It turns, it starts running, and it bleeds to death. It is dead.
Delightful.
Velantrios is just looking down at it.
A confused look on its face as it realizes that it's out under no will of its own, running through the very obvious spikes that it noticed that it didn't want to run through. Very confused, died confused. So now we have the one knoll that is attacking Virgil. That's going to use its spear again. Is your shield still up?
Yeah, until my turn.
So it only got a 19. Does that hit?
Yes. My armor class is
Oh.
19 with shield.
Okay. So you're going to be taking 4 points of piercing damage as it jabs you with its spear. But then it is your turn. It has nothing else that it can do, and it's not running away.
Neat. Can I smack it with my orb?
Yep, you can float your orb over 30 feet and whack it in the back of the head.
Hell yeah. Give me that dex save so I can do like 2 damage to it, probably.
It got a 13.
Cool. 2d6. All right, 9. 9. That's
Oof.
pretty good.
Yeah, you
We're
give this
high
thing a
rollers.
really good whack in the back of the head. It's very clearly very hurt and very singed. Once again, this thing is possibly about to keel over at any point.
Cool. Toll the dead.
There you go.
Wisdom save.
It got a 2.
Fuck yeah.
Speaking of low ride of rolls,
Okay, that's not bad.
It is
16
possible.
damage.
Okay, nope, never mind. It dies. It dies clutching his chest. I was gonna make
Oh,
you roll
I
because it had
wanna
3
just-
hit points.
Yeah.
So you could have rolled Snake Eyes and it would have still been
Yeah.
up.
Right.
So
I
it
just
wasn't
like
an instant
reach
kill.
out and I'm like, give me your soul.
And
God.
just
Yeah.
Damn.
And you kind of see some like, I don't know, soul, maybe flickers of flamey soul essence fly into my hand or something.
lovely. So
Yeah.
now it is at the top of the round with this monster. It begins to heal once again, its flesh knitting back
Gross.
together. And because Chauncey is the one that is doing the most damage to it, it's going to actually, you know what it's going to do? It was not able to learn its lesson because it was not there when this happened. So it is going to transform into mist and start flowing away.
Oh.
Oh.
Also,
Is it-
Yofi, what's your bardic inspiration dice?
Oh, it's 6. And also,
Cool.
you can use that on heals too.
Yeah. Well, I was going to use it on my saving throw to not be frightened.
But also, yes.
Oh, yes. You can certainly do that since you will be able to. Yep.
Cool. It's 17 to not be frightened.
You
Does
are
that
no
do
longer
it?
frightened.
Fuck yeah.
After beating the hell out of a bunch of gnolls, you can probably take this on. But you watch as this creature forms into mist and begins to roll away.
Is it leaving my threatened radius?
It is leaving your threatened radius.
Since I know for a fact I can hit them when they're missed, I'd like to make an opportunity attack.
You certainly may.
That's a nat 20.
Boom.
All right. So that would be full damage plus the roll.
So that's 18 plus 10, 28 plus 4, 32 plus 5, 37 damage.
Holy shit.
Damn.
You bring your hammer down on this thing as it begins to flow away, catching the tail end of the mist. The fire erupts with almost a clang on the anvil as this fire ripples across the misty form that swirls up for a moment, almost as if it's trying to reform to escape faster, but it doesn't want to give up its mist form quite yet, and redisperses into mist as it continues rolling about 20 feet away from you. And now it is Marcus's turn. You're watching this mist roll off to about to go around the corner of a building.
Okay, let's. Hey, Goober. All right. I don't think the only thing I really have that can hit it is going to make it go further away. So actually, let's see what we've got here. Can I? Nope, that's not gonna work. Oh, wait. Do I still have that magical hand axe that Chauncey made, or do I have the hand axe that I was chopping wood with?
You have your magical one.
Can I throw it?
I think
Spencer, you're
hand
muted.
axes are throwables.
How did I get muted? Okay.
I don't
So
know.
Baldur's Gate, they're throwable.
I'm gonna throw
Well,
it.
yes, it is throwable. I just want to see if there is like a disadvantage thing because it's missed. But no,
I vote no.
there's nothing that says that there's a disadvantage. So you can just hawk it into the mist cloud and hope for the best.
Yeah, I hoped. The best was pretty poor. It's an 8, so.
Yep, it just clang, hits the ground as the mist flows away to somewhere else. And now it is Chauncey's turn.
I can still see the mist cloud, right?
Yeah,
It only
it
moved
only
20
moved
feet.
like 20 feet away from you.
Well, let's not forget our vampire boy's got more movement speed than all these slow motherfuckers.
Very
So
true.
he's gonna yet again. He's just living that Ramona Flowers anime protagonist fantasy while he runs after it with an oversized hammer with his horrible battle robot doll, and he's gonna attack it.
All right, give me an attack roll as you come up on this mist cloud.
I hit it pretty good last time. That's a 26 to hit.
Oh my god, yes.
Yay!
Ooh, I almost rolled max damage on that. Shit. So 17 plus 5 is 22 points of damage.
Oh, it's dead.
Kill it.
The fire erupts through the mist as the ashes swirl and reform into a body of a human that crawls for a moment before collapsing. All of the rest of the gnolls are dead. The hyenas have been shot. And at this point, people are beginning to come out of the houses. They're milling around. They're reloading their guns. They're pointing them off in every which direction. You do see Pickaxe Peggy also holding a rifle, kind of running. And you also see Goldie come out, and her journalistic instincts spot you standing over a body, and she just beelines for you with her notepad, ripping it open. And she skids to a halt, looks at you, looks down at the body, and just goes, Giles? And that's where we're going to end this week's episode. So join us next week as we figure out what Goldie knows as we continue to unravel the mystery surrounding the theft of iron in Twin Gulch. So join us next week, and I will see the rest of you all in about 5 minutes.